Good morning, guys. I am just trying to get the camera situated here. And we are all set for our live this morning. Let's see, I have got Washi. We've got our markers selected. This was just the one that I was filling in the rest of yesterday with here. Let me turn off my volume so I'm not hearing myself double. And drop my little good morning in the chat here. All right, so we are getting ready to plan week 50 in our plans by Just Scribble. It's really hard to believe it's already week 50. That means that we only have 2 more of these weekly plan with me's. Good morning. It has been a while. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back. How are you doing? We only have 2 more plan with me's left in the year because then, well, I guess we have 3 because technically I will plan week 1 during 2025, but I'll be, we'll be planning for mainly 2026, so it'll be in the new planner. So we've only got, after today, we've only got 2 more weeks left in this planner before we switch over to 2026. It's almost here. My planners are scheduled to arrive on Wednesday of this week, so I'm very excited. This is the week that the planners arrive. And I thought about doing a planner washi, but I think I'm just going to do a little planner sticker on this day instead to mark that planners are arriving. I'm so glad you're doing well. Welcome back. Today I decided I'm going to use this Expecto Patronum washi. I don't know about you guys, but if you are a Harry Potter fan, and my kids were right at the age for Harry Potter when the books came out, so we were big Harry Potter fans of the books in our household. We did all of the midnight releases, midnight release parties, and things like that. Um, so right now I have, okay, the reason that I have the blues here and the black is because of the color of the washi. And the reason that I have these 2 is actually because I'll show you underneath the washi, it does have a little Harry Potter. So, so he's got those colors in his scarf. So it's not meant to be all of the house colors, but I did bring over, because this washi set comes with actually 4 pairs of washi. So it's got the Expecto Patronum washi, which is super cute. And then we do have the houses. Um, oh, excellent. Oh no, I'm spinning. No, no. Come back. Come back, come back. Oh, there. It is so great to get into the books for the first time. So this washi, you can actually get this washi on Amazon right now. It is available, and I did put it in the description, the link for all of these. So you've got the Expecto Patronum set, and then you've got the houses, and then we have the Daily Prophet comes in that. So that has all kinds of little clippings from the Daily Prophet. And then this one that says, I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good, and has the little footsteps on it. Has footsteps down here, and then you have just the plain footsteps by themselves. So this one, I actually have quite a few different Harry Potter washi. I have one from Every Minute a Story as well, but I chose this one because this is available And if you have somebody who is reading the books right now, this would make a fantastic little Christmas gift. Um, so I thought that it would be a great idea to showcase a washi that is available for anyone. Um, but I always tend to rewatch the books around this time of year. And so that is why I selected rewatch the books. I did just say that, didn't I? Oh my goodness, I'm going to be thinking about that all day now. I tend to rewatch the movies around this time of year, and so I thought that this washi would be appropriate for that. So here we go. One of the things that's interesting is this washi pulls from this side, so you have to line up, usually you see me lining up from this side over, but this one I'm going to have to line up from this side back. And this very end part of the washi came unstuck in storage. So I'm going to just kind of cut that off here on the, I'm not as good at lining it up this way, but we're going to line it up so that we are just before the little Harry Potter here. And then he will show up, and like he's got little dementors following him. They have little crossed out eyes. Oh yeah, you know what? Sometimes we just have to buy stuff for ourselves because that just makes sense. I get that. I'm 100% with you. I mean, this is mine. I have no kids that are in the house right now that I have any illusion will enjoy this. So I'm going to cut it off right before the expecto. Well, maybe not. I'm going to cut it off at the normal place. And then if I decide I don't want part of the word next time, then I'll just put that into my my little washi graveyard at the back of the book, like I am going to do with this one. So again, I didn't start a new washi graveyard in the plans book when I switched over because I already have one going over here and it's looking fantastic. I'm so excited about this page. I love this by the end of the year. So there we have it. Now, this is going to be kind of a weird week for me. This is an officially licensed washi. Yeah, I could put a sticker on top. I think I have Harry Potter stickers, so we'll get to those for sure. uh, this is an officially licensed washi, so it's got the licensing information on it. I don't love that, so that may be another sticker right there. Um, and I'm thinking, so I could go with this, but I also could go with the houses for like noting the weekend here. And we're going to have a really interesting weekend. So this is the week that my partner is having surgery on Friday, just a minor surgery, but surgery nonetheless. So the week is going to look a little bit different. So I'm actually going to start with black for the work week. And we're going to put in at 8:30 a nice little line here. And I'm only going to go up to Thursday with my work week. And then 4:30 here. So, and I think that I'm probably going to stick with just blues and blacks. And maybe I'll bring in a little bit of these, maybe the gold. But I just have them there in case, because I know that they do match. Kind of feeling all over the place today. Go bouncing around from topic to topic. Sorry about that. So we'll just get our work week drawn in. Now, I am working on Friday. My partner's having surgery. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to work from home until we need to leave. And then when we get back, I will work some more in the afternoon. Um, so I'm not counting it out, but I'm not putting it as part of this block because it is going to look very different than um, the rest of the week. So I don't want to confuse myself into thinking it's going to be a normal week. So I'm going to put in the first work block here on this day, but I'm not going to put in the second. I'll put in the second once I figure out exactly when that is, because I don't know how long the surgery is going to take. And so I don't want to um, I don't want to assume when that next work block is going to be. Um, and I think, as much as I said that I was going to put this all in blues, I think this is where I'm going to use the gold because this is where I want to highlight the surgery. So this is when I need to arrive at the hospital, and then this is or when we need to arrive. They actually don't really need me, they need him. Uh, I am just the driver. And I may take my laptop and work during the surgery because, again, I don't have anything to do other than drive for this. So it's not supposed to be very long. But I think that'll stand out a bunch for me, and I'll definitely see that. And then I may end up having to work a little bit here when we get home. So that is what we've got going on there. I'm going to put in some other knowns because right now I'm feeling kind of uncertain about the week. And so I'll put in some of the things that I know. Now I did pick this blue because it does have a bit of the yellow in it. It's not like a really blue. And so it works well with this washi. And I've used this washi before, so I know which colors work with this set. I thought about at one point swatching my washi sets, some of the ones that I use really frequently, with pens so that I could really easily see which colors work well. But I haven't actually gone and done that. So I'm going to put date night in because we do get a date night this week. And I went a little bit over, a little far on the work block, but that's all right. I'll put a sticker. I'll put a sticker on it. Just like I'm gonna do over here. We'll put some kind of sticker there to kind of soften that, what's going on here, because I don't love that. Then on my way home, I will be chatting with my friend Kim, like I always do on Wednesdays. I look forward to that all the time. And I think that is feeling pretty good. We have got our commuting times here. We'll use this other blue for that. So this week was really a weird week in terms of this commuting. Let me get to that. This drive, I drove home in the middle of the day because it was going to be snowing, and I thought I was going to beat the storm, but the storm arrived like 2 hours early, and I got stuck in it, and my little, it should be a 25-minute commute, ended up taking me 2.5 hours to get home in the middle of the day, and then I had to work into the evening on Monday. So Monday just really threw me off. That was a really, really long day. And then I had computer issues at home. And so then Tuesday ended up being my longest day of work. And I've been very stressed from all of that. I've been still dealing with computer issues. We've been doing testing to do pre-op stuff. And so it's been a week. um, So this week I am hoping for much smoother commutes. This is to work, and this one is home. And just like last week, I'm not going to fill in every single day because I know that these are all going to be the same. And then this is to the hospital. And obviously we will be heading home after. So let's put that in here. This is just an outpatient thing, so there we go. All right. So that's starting to have some structure to it, and I like that. I'm feeling a little bit more stable about my week with this. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the washi with the houses along the top. This one I can turn this way. And I'm going to put it across all of these because all of these days are a bit different. And, let's see. So I usually put the band just across the weekend, but all of these days are going to feel different than the kind of structured week. And so that's why I'm placing it. It's a visual cue that these days are different. So it doesn't mean that this is a vacation day because this is very much not going to be a vacation day for me. I have not worked at my new job for long enough to get vacation days. So, so I do have to work around this. That's, I don't have the option to take a vacation day right now. But one thing I do have here, or here, is at 5, we have got a, I'm not sure to what extent I'm going to make it to this, but we have got a party. The office Christmas parties have started, and so that is what is happening here, and it goes till 9. I'm just going to mark this in. I don't know if I will make it to any of it, part of it. I'm not sure. Um, that's going to be the office Christmas party. So it is downtown, one of our hotels. So I will put a little to the hotel. If my partner's feeling up to it, we'll both attend the party. If he is not feeling up to it yet, then I may make an appearance. If he's feeling well enough that I can duck out of the house for, an hour or two, um, and attend. But if he's still needing care, then I just won't go to the party at all. Um, so that's kind of how we're playing it by ear here. I just smudged. I am just not focused right now, clearly. I do want to write in, let's see, I want to mark in the plan with me in the morning. And because I will definitely be around and able to do that. I also want to write in 3:25, there is a Colts game, which he may say he's still not feeling well just so that he can stay home and watch the Colts game. I wouldn't put it past him. Um, and that's okay. If that's what he's feeling up to, that's fine. And here we have 7:30. There's an IU game, which means he's going to be cranky that we're out at a movie. And over here, 6:30, there's another IU game. He very much likes to watch his sports during the winter. All right. So I've got a construction meeting here. Put that. This is the hotel construction meeting. All right. I think that is all of I don't have any birthdays or anything, any holidays this week. So I think that is the bulk of my schedule for the week. When you start to get really overwhelmed with kind of things feeling like they're all over the place, sometimes just corralling them into a format like this where you can clearly see what's going on, the known entities can feel very relieving, because now I have a very good idea of what this week is going to look like, just in general. And it's easy for me to see it. I'm going to put down here, we're going to do our This is reading, watching, and eating. And then I will add my sleep. So I mentioned I'm going to be doing some goal setting um, videos coming up here because everybody's got new planners with a goal setting section in them. And a lot of people have trouble kind of figuring out what goes into the goal settings area. And one of the goals that I have that I haven't really talked about much is to really work on my sleep and getting better sleep. I really have a difficult time falling asleep at night. And even if I do manage to fall asleep at night, I tend to toss and turn until morning. So, really, the best sleep that I normally would get would be between, I don't know, maybe 6 and 10 in the morning. And I am never really able to sleep at that point in time. Like that last hour or two of sleep is the time that I don't toss and turn. But what I really need to do is I really need to get closer to this 8 hours of sleep because I feel a lot better after I have 8 hours of sleep. So if we look here at my lovely little, it looks like I drew a picture of a cat here on my sleep tracker. But I only had just around a little over 4 hours this day. And then the rest of the week, this week, I was so stressed um, that I was able to actually get some good sleep and came close to that 8 o'clock most days. And then last night, again, I just had a terrible time falling asleep. And so I only ended up with 5.5 hours. So, it kind of ends up all over the board, but I'm really, really trying to get closer to that 8 hours because I know that I sleep much better with 8 hours. So that is a goal that I want to be tracking right now. I want to be working towards that. So even though, my watch tracks it for me, I want to have it in here because I can kind of look at it against my schedule. So, had I had more sleep on Sunday into Monday, I probably would have handled this stress a little bit better. I wouldn't have felt it so intensely. And then, you know, and so knowing that, I can look at what my week looked like against the sleep. So that's why I want it here. I really, really like having it here for now. The work hours, I don't necessarily have to have here, but they do kind of fill in a little bit of space, and I do want to have them somewhere. So next year, going into 2026, this work tracker might not live here on the sidebar. I mean, this is prime real estate. So this is not a goal of mine. This is just a tracker. So it might live with the other trackers. Um, but when I made the kind of abrupt switch over to this planner, I wanted to make sure that I was tracking it somewhere and I didn't have a place set up to track it. So, uh, mainly because my last job, well, I shouldn't say that. I did have a place to track it. I've been tracking it all along at my previous job. Um, but I wasn't tracking it in here, right? I was tracking it elsewhere. And I decided that I wanted it here on the spread. So again, this is trying to stay near 8 hours. Um, and then I want my total hours for the week. Right now I'm on salary, so I'm not putting hours into a timesheet. I may end up doing, because I know now looking at this that if I have this 4-hour work block here, I'm going to end up working either all night Friday, all day Saturday, something like that. I may work a little bit longer on Monday and Tuesday, or maybe go in a little bit early. So I always write my actual hours. So I have the intended hours, but I always write my actual hours on the day so that I can see exactly, how many hours I worked that particular day. So even though it might be a little bit different than this, I might end up working those 4 hours throughout the first part of the week and then just working that 4-hour block here on Friday, and then focusing more on my partner for the rest of the day. Um, or again, I may work at the hospital. So we'll see how that ends up working out. I do have a laptop, so hopefully it will be working by then and I will be able to use it for what it's supposed to be used for. All right, let's see what else we need. We need some lines here on the bottom for our kind of separate our sections here. So what do you guys have going on this week? Anybody doing anything fun and exciting? I know it's getting close to the holidays. Lots of people have parties and holiday fun coming up. I also want, where is it? I am putting in, I think I want one of these. Let's take this one. Do I have room for this? I do. Okay. So I want to write out my YouTube schedule for this week. And I think this is going to be a good way to do that. Let's see. I think I can use this red for over here. It's really red. Just get the little play button and and these are pretty much 2 blocks each, but not exactly. These stickers, I love these stickers, but they don't exactly line up. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So I always try and line up the Thursday because it's right in the middle. That means that the other numbers will line up pretty well if I get Thursday right in the middle. But I want to put my YouTube schedule so that I really have it front and center. So we have an alternate plan with me for week 50 on Monday. I'll have my 19-week check-in. On Friday, I'll have a video Saturday, but I also have my Washi selection. Because I think my goal is going to be to have all of these things filmed and ready and in the can, as they would say, at least, you know, a little bit ahead. You know, Friday, that Washi check-in, I'm going to need to do that here. But I'm going to put in filming blocks with this red of when I want to film things. Just so that I know. So here we have an Archer and Olive unboxing. And I have already filmed that one. So I'm just going to draw a line through it because I filmed it. All right. So that will stand out to me and I will remember if I need to film in the morning. Because again, if I let this day get away from me, I'll end up with the same issue that I had this week where I'm filming it on sometime on Saturday instead of on Friday for that check-in. I can't do that ahead of time because I'm dealing with, you know, the statistics and numbers and things like that. And I want to give you a clear picture of how the week went. But I still want to make sure that it gets done on Friday, which means it needs to be done before we leave for the hospital, because once we leave for the hospital, I really don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the day. So that needs to happen there. And I will put in other blocks as we have them. Now for right now, I'm just going to write in that this is goals part 1. And the intention is to film this later today, this also. And this is going to be goals part 2. Nope, that was not going to be, this one's going to be goals part 2. This is why I want to figure this out. This is going to be gift ideas. And then this is the plan with me live. And that's week 51. Okay. So I will highlight this, make that stand out a little bit more so that I know that, again, I'm filming there. All right. So I think now we have all of the things that I need to have on my days here. So let's start to get into some fun things. I know we want some stickers. So I'm going to get out my sticker books here. We'll start with this one. Because if you remember, I said I want a little sticker to go in there. And so I want a working sticker. I think this will be great to kind of cover that. Make that not feel so awkward. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I like him off center like that. Let's put him the right way up. There we go. All right. And then I mentioned that I have in my characters, I have got Harry Potter stickers. So let's get those out. I'm only going to grab, I think, one full one. And then let's grab the full one here. All right. So I have these stickers from Coffee Monster Co. And we have all the different little characters here and then the movies. And then here we have got, let's look at the full sheet. I did use the broom here for my Wicked spread a couple weeks ago. So I don't have that anymore. Let's go back and look at that. So here's where that ended up. But this is a super cute set. This is from Once More with Love. And it has the whole Wizarding World, all of the little things. So we are going to go ahead and put some of these in various places. One of the things I wanted to do was to cover up right there where that wording is. So we'll just stick the little wand sticker there. No, we don't see it. I could get rid of this, but it doesn't really bother me. I think here I'm going to put the butter beer because my guess is that we're going to want to go out to dinner and then get some grocery shopping done so that we are, oh wait, no, I want to do this on here. So that we're good for this time. So here on Thursday, we're going to want to go to dinner and get some grocery shopping done so that we have everything that we need for here. The sticker shop Once More with Love is super cute. They have got, there's 3 sticker shops that have these kind of little emoji type characters. There's the Coffee Monster Co., Once More with Love, and Every Minute a Story. And they all have really cute stuff. Coffee Monster Co. has kind of gone away from doing kind of these more licensed characters. And the other shops still have quite a few of them. So I like to use all the different shops. I'm not specific to one over the other. I'm actually going to pull out, I do have this sheet that I've started to use of this. And I watched, I'm going to go to back to here and put in the Philosopher's Stone because it was that horrible drive home that made me start kind of watching the Harry Potter movies again. And I watched the Philosopher's Stone until Thursday. I think I finished it on Thursday, and Friday I started the Chamber of Secrets. Just a little bit before I go to bed because it actually helps me fall asleep a little bit better. And so I think that's why I've been sleeping a little bit better is I've been kind of doing about half hour of a movie that I'm familiar with before I go to bed, and then I don't really feel like I have as much trouble sleeping So I'm about an hour into Chamber of Secrets, which means at some point here I'll be using these other ones. But let's finish up this sheet, shall we? We will put some little characters up here. Imagine Prisoner of Azkaban's probably going to be around here. Maybe this day, one of the two. So we'll just throw in some little characters throughout the week. And then I always like to, when I finish a sheet of stickers, I cut out the indicator that tells me what those stickers are. So, most shops have some type of indicator that tells you what the sticker is. So on the Coffee Monster Co. here, it just has the number for these. But on this one, it does say the Wizarding World 2.0. And so I'm going to get this in here. I can get it off the release paper. There we go. And that just helps me see which stickers I'm using more frequently than others. I think I'm going to put those right there. Maybe not. Maybe I don't like that over that thank you. I try not to overthink this space too much. So there we go. But I don't think I want to cover up the thank you. But this just kind of lets me know which stickers I'm actively using. And that way I know which stickers I'm going through and which ones I need to reorder as I'm looking at the end of the year. But we have all of our characters there, and then let's get a little Dobby the house elf right in here. Even though he's a little bit different than the others. I think that's good. I like this kind of just this layout here. Let's get our weather in. That's going to be important, and then we're just about to wrap up. All right. So having the weather in, I always like because, like, for example, I knew it was going to be snowing on Monday. However, I thought it was going to be snowing at 2 and at 2, and it ended up starting to snow before 12. So that was not fun. But having the weather is nice for making sure that I am managing where I'm at. Had I known that the snow was going to start as early as it did on Monday, the last Monday, I would have probably worked from home all day and not even tried to go into the office. But I thought I would be smart and work half a day in the office and then go home, and that ended up being not smart at all. All right, Wednesday we have 45, 26. Thursday we have 37 and 21. And this is supposed to be morning snow. And 29, 12. Goodness. That polar vortex must be slipping again because we don't get those kind of temperatures here. That was one of the things that I really liked when we moved was no more of these really bitter cold temperatures. And here we go. We're going to have them again. Fortunately, we're going to be inside most of the time for these days. And 23 and 15. Yikes. And it's also not supposed to snow any of these days, which is nice also. So we're just supposed to get a little bit of morning snow. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. And I think, despite the fact that I started this feeling very disorganized and unsure of what the week was going to look like, I think this actually turned out really, really cute. Good morning, Keisha. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you. We are just finishing up here for the day. And we've got our super cute Harry Potter with his little Expecto Patronum at these little Dementors over here. And our little Harry Potter characters throughout. You will definitely be able to catch the rewind. I have it set to go public right away afterwards, but sometimes YouTube just it traps it for a while. It wants to convert it up to high definition. And so it takes them hours to do that with a live. So sometimes the live doesn't go live right away afterwards, but if you stay on this page and don't refresh, sometimes you can go back and rewatch. Otherwise, it should be sometime this afternoon that it finally gets its act together and gets things looking the way they should. I kind of think I want a little party uh, icon here, even though I don't know if we're going to be going. You know what? Let's move this little butterbeer guy over here to the party. And then we'll put something else down in here. Maybe we'll put this list right here. So I did mention that we were planning on probably going for dinner in the grocery store here. So this will be my little grocery list. And then this is the butterbeer. And then if I don't go to the grocery store, you know, yep, if you stay here, you can rewind it and you should be fine. If we don't go to the grocery store, then that just looks like a cute decoration and I don't have to worry about it. Let's see. Put a little candle here for date night. All right. There we have it. I think, you know what? Let's take our little Hermione with her little spell book. Let's put this over with the plan with me. And then I can put maybe the little snitch right here. There we go. So, Keisha, I love that fact that you have never seen Harry Potter, but you have a Harry Potter moleskin for 2025. Um, that is absolutely awesome. I love it. Um, the iconography of Harry Potter, like the graphics and everything, are really super cute. So I could see using it even if you don't follow along with the movies and such. I mean, that does make a lot of sense. Um, I chose this because I'm rewatching the series. So I started last week on Monday because I was really, really stressed and I was trying to sleep early. So to get a little bit earlier sleep in the day, I started watching about a half hour right before I go to bed because my brain is so familiar with the story that it allows me to kind of shut down and get sleepy. So I watch about a half hour, and then I turn off the TV and go to bed. And so I made it through the Philosopher's Stone here, and then the Chamber of Secrets here. Again, just about a half hour before I go to bed. I'm about halfway through the Chamber of Secrets for tonight. Um, and yes, they are those Moleskine journals. I went and looked at them. They are very cute, and they are on Amazon. I just searched Moleskine Harry Potter 2025 planner, and they came up. I did not yet see the ones for 2026, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more searching because I just saw it before I came on to do the live. Um, but that's fantastic. Um, Yeah, my kids really liked it when they were little, but these books were coming out when they were little. So there was, all of their friends were reading them. And we would go to the midnight bookstore openings. Um, the bookstore would have a party usually starting at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and they would have all kinds of little activities for the kids, and everybody would dress up like wizards, and we would go spend, from 9 or 10 at night until midnight at Barnes and Noble, just kind of wandering around the bookstore, picking out other books, and at midnight we would pick up the new Harry Potter book. And so my kids were hugely into Harry Potter, and therefore I ended up into it a lot as well, just because they enjoyed it so much. Um, but it was kind of the zeitgeist of the time, and I know that now it feels a little bit older, and not all of the kids are into that right now. Um, but yeah, when things first came out, the books especially, bookstores did huge promotions for Harry Potter. Um, and they would have, potion making and wand making and little stations that you would take the kids to, and they would come home with all of these, you know, cheap, crafty items, but still tons of fun. And this new book that we then, all read in turn. Um, so I always got it the night that it came out at midnight. We would all go, and the kids would go to bed when we got home, and I would read the book, and I would finish it by the time they got up for the morning. And so when they got up, it would pass to the next person, because I'm a pretty quick reader. And the only time that didn't happen was with the last book, because the last book was really long. and and so I didn't quite finish before they woke up in the morning. And my daughter, who was the next one in line to get the book, was so sad that I didn't finish it because she really wanted to read it, and she wasn't able to read it right away. She had to wait like an extra hour or something after she woke up. And she didn't let me forget about that for quite a long time. But, the movies and such have a very fond memory for me of a time when the kids were little and it felt really magical for them. So I definitely enjoy it, and it really has a way of kind of putting my mind into a very calm state and a very rested state. So yeah, these are great stories. I'm gonna have to really remember to tell my grandkids about their parents dressing up as wizards and um, making wands and potion making and such. Um, and then I also did movie theater fundraisers for the kids' schools. And the movie theater that we liked to go to would let us rent out one of the theaters on opening day. As long as we promised a full theater, we could rent out a full theater on the very first day. So while everybody else was scrambling around to get tickets, yes, this was in the Chicago area. Um, everybody else was scrambling around to get tickets for the movies on the day they came out, and there were long lines and things like that. And because that was really before you could buy movie tickets online. And so, meanwhile, we just had for our school as a fundraiser, which was great because our school got a portion of the profits. Um, Everybody that came got pop and popcorn, and you were just on a guest list. So you just showed up to the movie, and you got to come into the movie theater on that opening day and get to watch the movie with no stress, no difficulty, no trying to get a ticket. It ended up being a huge fundraiser for our school. Every time a Harry Potter movie came out, and I ran those. And one of the movies, when it came out, the theater had gotten the Weasley twins to come and sign autographs. And so my kids had the Weasley twins autographs, Fred and George, and they really enjoyed that. Um, so yeah, again, really, really fond memories just around the whole Harry Potter series. I know since that time there have been multiple controversies and all kinds of other things, but for me, that time was a very kind of magical, special time. So yeah, this is it was very, very cool. That theater, by the way, if anybody's in the Chicago area, it's a fantastic theater. It is over on Lamont Road in Downers Grove, I believe, and uh, it is a fantastic, fantastic theater. They have, oh gosh, I'm blanking on the name, of course, right now. Um, Hang on, I'm gonna look it up because I would like to give them a shout out, and I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. Um, they also do Rocky Horror every Saturday night at midnight. They do the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they have a group that comes out and does it. Um, and so let me see if I can't give them a good shout out. There it is. It's Hollywood Boulevard Cinema, Hollywood Boulevard in Chicago. They are a great theater. They did wonderful events for our school, and they have all kinds of Hollywood memorabilia there. You can actually, they have an Oscar from Gone with the Wind. So they have a little theater museum with some costumes and things like that, and you can go and look at it. And one of the things they have is an actual Oscar statue. And I think I spent quite a few minutes staring at that Oscar. Just, it was really neat to kind of see that in person. But it's a very, very cool theater. So if you're ever in the Chicago area, give them some love. They really love movies and that whole um, and they love helping the community. So anyway, I think that's where I'm going to call it. You stayed downtown. Okay, Keisha. Let's see. Yeah, Chicago is very, very, very big. I lived in the western suburbs, so I lived outside of the city. And so we would go into the city sometimes, but the theater is out in the western suburbs, about 15 miles west of the city, maybe. Um, and it is a great place. But yeah, Chicago is very huge. If you're going into the city, it would definitely not be convenient to leave the city for a movie. But if you happen to want to kind of stay in the Chicago area and commute into the city, you know, a little bit on the train, then the kind of Oak Brook Downers Grove area is a really nice area to stay. And that's where the theater is. So anyway, I'm going to call it here and I will see you guys next week. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. And I will see you on the other side of whatever happens here. We'll see you next week. Talk to you then. Bye.